Tonight is the New Hampshire primary. Of course, President Trump will win on behalf of his Republican constituency, the people of the United States. But we also have the Democrats, the Socialist Democrats. We have Bernie Sanders. We have little Petey Buttigieg. We have Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren. We have brain dead Joe Biden. And we have a host of others. It's going to be very interesting to watch this event because the winner on the Democratic side is going to claim the mantle to the Democrat nomination. Now, Larry Klayman, yours truly, and Freedom Watch, we don't advocate who to vote for, but we do hold these people accountable. And we've held Republicans accountable too. I sued George W. Bush for illegal surveillance, for Vice President Cheney for putting out a fraudulent statement with regard to Halliburton to raise investors in that. I call it as I see it. But I'll tell you something, and this is going out far and wide to Bernie Sanders, who is perhaps the most despicable of all of the candidates. I mean, here is someone who tries to hide his religion. I think if most people knew, and I'm a Jewish Christian, and I'm very proud of being Jewish, but the country, unfortunately, is not at the point of electing a Jewish president. I think that's going to take a long time, perhaps never. It's probably never going to happen because of the prejudice in this country. Hate crimes in this country are much greater against Jews than they are against even African Americans. But here's somebody who hides it. His family name is not really Sanders. Here is someone who is supported by radical Muslims in Congress like Ilham Omar and Rashida Tlaib. Rashida Tlaib, who actually physically assaulted my client, Laura Loomer, at a campaign event with Omar several years, or just a year or so ago. This is something that is really unbelievable. Linda Sarsour, another vehement anti-Semite activist who supports Hamas, Hezbollah, and others. Bernie Sanders, frankly, is the most despicable of all the candidates, even though Buttigieg and Warren defamed, as I said yesterday, my client, George Zimmerman, and they're going to pay a price for that with a lawsuit. They're going to be held accountable. But I have to say that Sanders is the worst. Here's a guy who took his honeymoon in Moscow, who trashed the president for so-called Russian collusion, but yet worships at the altar of the former Soviet Union and Russia. He's not just a socialist, he's a communist. Now, the others are leaning socialist as well. Now, he says we live in a socialist nation. We do not live in a socialist nation. Bolshevik style, he would like to make it a socialist nation. And while I will not get involved in the voting process, that's for you to decide. You can rest assured, and you have my pledge, that I will do everything I can to legally take Bernie Sanders down. And I'm going to take the others down too, legally and peacefully, because these people are spreading misinformation. They are defaming people like my client. They are defaming the president. They're impeding his agenda to be able to do good things, more good things for this country. And frankly, they're not just an idle fancy. These people, if Joseph McCarthy was around today, and McCarthy, had excesses, there's no question that he accused people of being communists who may not have been communists. But you know what? If he lived today, he'd have a field day, because we are living in a society where communism is running rampant under the surface and on the surface. And these people need to peacefully and legally be dealt with. Our government won't do it, okay? Because our government has a deep state which is actually sympathetic to them. You see what they've done to the president, President Trump. So you have my pledge today. Watch what happens in this New Hampshire primary, and watch Bernie Sanders emerge victorious, and watch him on his march to turn this country into a socialist gulag. We will not permit that peacefully and legally. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, support our cause, join our Justice League, and spread this word. Spread the podcast. You can find it at radioamerica.com, at freedomwatchusa.org. You can find it at Spotify, Facebook, iTunes, Patreon, and a number of other places, because the American people need to rise up. We cannot turn this country into another Soviet Union. Certainly didn't work then. It won't work now. We will not be enslaved by the socialist communists of the Democrat Party. And you have my word. God bless you. God bless America. God save America. And thank you for listening to me. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast.